Hi guys, welcome to the fourth episode of Life After. This one's this one's a bit of a wow. In terms of the story that we're about to hear, only one word and it's mind blowing. I'm here today with a well-known lad in Tamworth. So we'll now go to Conor Fulford.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah,
Good.
So, Mr. Mate, I want to start with the fact that you were, it's quite well publicised. You've been offered money to tell this story in the past.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I appreciate you coming on and doing this. But I've also got a question. Why did you turn that down?
I think, Bill, more so for the fact that everything that I tend to do, I like a purpose to be behind it or a message to be behind it.
Yeah.
So for me, someone like this, you're not earning money doing this, Bill.
Absolutely not.
You're trying to spread a message.
Yeah.
You're trying to spread awareness. And I think having two men behind a camera speaking
Yeah.
about their traumas, their emotions, and how they feel is a lot more powerful than me taking a couple of grand to do a podcast. And basically, people get a lot of views, subscribers for a story that's actually really affected me, and it's affected my family and and my mom. So I don't sell my soul to the devil, Bill.
Yeah.
And I think the message I'm trying to spread is it's okay to be upset. It's how you move forward with everything, and that's why, Bill. I know we're good friends, but for me, that I know you're trying to spread an amazing message, and if I can help that in any way, that's why I'm here.
Well, we spoke earlier, and I speak to most of the guests on the day that they're coming out just to check sort of things through finally. And the thing I liked about what you said was that this is like therapy for you.
Yeah.
And there's still a stigma with therapy, in my opinion, of not only people going, but admitting they're doing it. And that is where I think we need to sort of break those taboos and barriers. I'll go counselling still.
Yeah,
I'm not
same.
afraid to
Same.
do that.
Yeah.
But again, thanks. And should we get into it?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it.
Okay. So you wanted to touch on the fact that, where you want to start your story from is when your mum organised for you to go to America.
Yeah, so it was basically I was coaching. I actually think I was coaching your son a few years before.
Yeah.
There you go, Bob. You're right.
Yeah.
So I was coaching, and I love America. So as kids, my dad and my mom, they took me and my two sisters, took us to America a lot.
Yeah.
So America was like, and a couple of my friends used to play football over there. I actually got offered a scholarship, but money wouldn't add up to be able to do the rest. And I just thought, my mum was basically come to me saying, look, there's an opportunity for you to go to America here. So I went and coached, and then I've got offered a place to go to UK Elite, they're called.
Right.
And they actually just bought Liverpool Football Club.
Did you get there with Brendan?
No, Brendan was already over there on a scholarship.
Okay.
But I went there. So I went to a trial day where you had to go coach at Birmingham University.
Okay.
So I went there, and I was playing for Barwell at the time, so it was like a decent level.
Yeah.
So you go there and blah, blah, and the coaching weren't the best. And I'd
Was
be
it the coaching you were receiving?
the coaching there was loads of different coaches, and basically it's like X Factor of coaches.
Yeah.
They'll go, yes, no, you're through to the next round.
You're on trial.
You're on trial, but coaching, not playing, which was a different thing that I'd ever been in. So it was a great experience. So I did that, and basically they only offered me a place because the rest of the coaches weren't great, and they do it up and down the country. Yeah. So they go across the whole of England and Scotland and go, look, blah, blah. So with that, they pulled me in, and I've just said, randomly, I just said, okay, I got it, cheeky, young lad. And I've got, my mate's better than me, coaching. James Beeson.
Yeah. Intelligent lad,
Yeah, great football coach.
Yeah.
So they've gone, tell you what, we'll take him as well.
Okay.
I said, okay, but you've got to put us together.
Yeah.
So with that, my mom had, and I think her partner that she went away with, Scott.
Yes.
Both of them knew a guy that was in America that worked for UK Elite. So I've ended up getting myself in, but dragging Beeson in as well.
Yeah.
So me and him jetted off. We stayed when it was in New York for about 4 or 5 weeks. Played in 5-a-side tournaments. I thought it was Ronaldinho. It was brilliant. So went there and we did like a coaching seminar in New Jersey, and then we moved to Boston. Which is Cape Cod, which isn't too far away. It's like the Devon of, So we've gone there, and then basically me and Beeson are out there coaching, and living the dream, to be honest, bro. I mean, we're in America, you get a house paid for, you get a car, you know,
you're on it,
it was a good time, good life sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, but then it got to about FA Cup semi-final built, and Villa have beat Liverpool.
Thanks for
And
saying that, yeah.
yeah, I know you'd enjoy that one. But so with that, Villa end up winning, getting to the final. So I flew back for the final.
Who were you playing?
Arsenal, we got battered. Yeah. It was 5-1. I think we left 10 minutes before the end. It was that bad. It weren't much of a final. But, you know, at the time, I'm devastated that Villa have lost. I've come back from America, this, that, and the other. And in effect, that was the last time I was in my mum. So, you know, now I look back on it, we had a Sunday dinner and all the traditional family things that probably you take for granted in life.
A normal day, you would say, but yeah.
A normal day. I fly back to Boston. I think it was June, probably a month before it, because the final's in May, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
May, yeah. So it's in May. So then a month after, obviously, everything just sort of to unravel.
Talk to me about that.
So the first time that I heard the news, I'm with Beeson, we're in Boston, and me and Beeson are flying over there because there's lads that are just starting
My
their
hairs have just instantly gone up, by the way.
Yeah,
It's like knowing where we're going now.
So it was me and Beeson. I've gone out the night before with Beeson. Okay. I've lost my phone. Right. So I've lost it. Someone robbed it, but I won't get into that. But I've got no phone, and me and Beeson are doing really well over there. We've been promoted.
Established.
Yeah, and you know, Bus Bill, me and Beeson have been coaching for years. We're over there and we're doing really, really well. So look, I'm loving it. Dave said, look, can you present a bit of a presentation on the company to all these other, basically like junior teams and this, that, and the other. So I'll do that, no problem.
Yeah.
All right, nice day. So I'm there. I'm literally about to walk out. Beeson's on his phone. He's gone, mate, some people have been shot in Tunisia. And at that moment, I promise you now, at that moment, I went cold. And I don't know why, but I do know why. But I've gone cold. And I'm going, what do you mean? What do you mean, bro? Like, he's gone, somebody had been shot in Tunisia. And I don't think Beeson clicked, because I think I had told him Mum's in Tunisia, but my mum's on holiday. We'd not designated where she actually was. So with that, I've gone to Beeson. I've gone, I need to ring my sister.
Yeah.
Give me your phone.
And at this point, you haven't gone and done your presentation
No,
yet.
stopped.
Due to go in.
Stopped.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like something come over me where I've gone, nope.
Stop shit.
That's my what.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know it sounds weird, like this cold feeling. It's like I know it sounds mad, but I think it's like I had this feeling. I'm like, maybe it was fear. I don't know, but
People say it, mate. You get a sixth sense. You don't want it to be true, but I think what happens subconsciously, you prepare yourself for the worst.
Yeah.
Should the worst be about to happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was
Yeah,
the case.
so with that, I've rang my sister. I think she'd just come back from Paris. So she says, I said, get Sky News on. So I'm like, okay, cool. So Sky News is on. She's like, I said, where's Mum staying? She's like, literally can't. They've got the point of the gunman at Mum's hotel. So obviously, we're like, oh my God. Okay, cool. And then with that, we're ringing Mama.
Yeah.
And blah, blah. So me and Beeson made a decision. We're getting out there.
Yeah.
Because I need to be on my laptop. So me and Beeson have left the thing. And obviously the company at the time were probably a bit angry at us, but Beeson, fair play to him. Honestly, he's one of my best friends. He's just gone, nah, we're going.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'm that much of a people pleaser sometimes.
And you still don't know at this time.
Oh, not a clue. Okay. But I had a feeling. I had a feeling, and Beeson could probably feel my energy.
It was that strong.
Yeah, it was that. I'm a laugh a minute guy, and as soon as I flick that switch, there's a problem. Yes. So we've gone back to where we're living in Cape Cod, and we sat there and basically twiddling your thumbs because you don't really know. I've got no phone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, okay, cool, So with that, I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on Twitter. I'm going to start hashtag Find Sue Davy. Because if my mum's the first one if my mum's the first one, and it's selfishly,
Yeah,
I want to find my mum, Bill.
of course you do.
So I don't care.
You're looking outside the story.
I'm looking at
You're blinkered.
I'm thinking of a plan.
Your mum's there.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of a plan. So if I can get my mum out first,
Yeah.
while all the anarchy's going on, and I clearly know that my mum's in Tunisia and I can't find her, so I'm like, okay, hashtag find Sue Davy, and I've got a few friends that have a lot of followers, so I'm like, share that. And to be fair, Tamworth as a town were amazing at the time.
Yeah.
Everyone was on it. Everyone was trying to find, sharing it, spreading it. But with that, it delves into, this is probably where a lot of trauma comes in for me.
Okay.
Because it started with media outlets, and there was CNN have got in touch with me, and it was, I think it was the Canadian one or whatever. And part of, as I go into it, I'll explain it later. They were like, "Do you want to do an interview?" And my method is the method that I just said. Hashtag find Sue Davy. Get me in front of any camera.
Get the word out.
Get it out. I'm not bothered. Let's go. Right.
Yeah.
So Beeson's basically like my PA at this point. And he's lining up interviews left, right, and centre, mate. Like, he's on it. So, like, he's just unbelievable. So we're like, okay, cool. But he got to the point where I've done a few, and on this one, it's actually out there still. It's on YouTube somewhere, and it's just like, I watched it back probably a year ago, and I thought, wow, what a lost soul you are. Like, I'm there, and I'm like, and knowing your voice is, because what I'm speaking is actually unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't find my mum, and people are dead in Tunisia.
Yeah.
And then the more I'm saying it in front of a camera, the more I'm realising it, and the more it's sinking into my head, Bill. And I'm like,
You just want something to happen to take you out of that moment of doubt, but it ain't coming.
but I start hanging on to things, and I'll get into it as I go. But
Yeah.
basically, what I'd worked out was, from doing these interviews, they were telling me little nuggets. So all of the people that were dead were going to Tunis.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. So me and Beeson are there. We've got all the hospitals in front of us. And we're like, okay. So the BBC, ITV, and all that. And at the time, I'm thinking they're being nice to me.
Okay. Yeah.
But part of the deal was, I'll do an interview, but you've got to send one of your reporters to the hospital. So, and it's like,
Makes sense.
tick,
Yeah.
tick,
Yeah.
tick, tick. Whilst the Find Sue Davy is flying off on Twitter. So me and Beeson have basically got our own Wall Street setup going on. And it's like, it's mad. But when I look back, for two young lads, it was unbelievable plan. Like, I look back and I'm like, we did everything we could to find my mum.
Yeah.
And I'm not proud of it, because I wouldn't want to be in that situation, but I am proud, because that's the kind of lad she built me to be.
Yes.
Don't sit there, twiddle your thumbs.
Yeah.
You get after it, Con.
Well, don't freeze, and that's
Yeah.
what you could have done easily.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of thought, someone's going to tell me, and waste hours and days. Which,
So,
you know,
but this is where a downside comes in, Bill, because
Okay.
once you speak to them, you've opened up the floodgates with the media. And I will go into that later on, but that set me up for a lot of trauma. And the hashtag Find Sue Davy, for example, on Twitter, we all know what Twitter's like.
yeah,
And I wasn't ready to process some of the hate messages and people sending me images of dead people, bodies, people sending me fancy, like, there's people around that have said, fancy going there, you should have wore a bulletproof vest, and this.
Like, do you know what? When you're getting that must have been hard to have carried on with any air of, not positivity, but should we say productivity? Because that's enough to make you go,
Oh,
this is fucking getting on top.
and I think later on, Bill, it affected me more. Because at the
yeah,
time, I'm like, they're a wally, see you later.
Yeah.
And I'm that focused on finding my mum, I'm probably not bothered in a way, but I am.
Yeah.
I am, but I've just not processed that information yet, because there's more important things going on. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. So with that, crazy story, but one of my friends from years ago, I went to Malia as a kid, and I met Gary off Geordie Shore
Okay.
before he was famous.
Yeah.
But me and him would talk here and there still, and blah, 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 blah. And basically, Sky News had this image of a woman, and it looked like my mum. And she's on a stretcher, She's on a stretcher and she's going into a hospital. And I'm like, okay.
Sorry to ask, mate. And
Go
again,
on,
I know.
no.
What could you see? And what
So
made you think?
she's got it covered. Basically, it was, my mum's like me, quite dark skinned.
Yeah.
It was like her legs. So I think it was my sisters that brought the attention of it, because I'm doing all these things. They've said that image is there, and I'm trying to get in touch with Sky News, but that was the one media channel that hadn't been really in touch. So I'm like, okay. So with that, oh no, Gary's a big hitter. So I'm like, okay, like, I'm going to message him.
Yeah.
And he went, I'll find out. So with that, me and him are talking, and he's getting it done for me, to be fair to him. And basically, long story short, someone has contacted me saying, I'm at that hospital with that body, and they're alive, but they've been shot in the leg, and it's just a leg injury. So that, I'm not, okay. But again, that's the little nugget I was talking about, Bill. I'm thinking, that's my mum. This image now, I look at it, I'm thinking, how did I ever think that that was my mum? But I was in that much of a desperate state.
Of course.
I was just hanging on to it, probably. So I'm sharing this image going, okay, where's this? Where is it? What's it going on? Blah, blah.
Yeah.
Found out the hospital. Someone hits me back with, I'm at the hospital and it's Sue Fulford. But my mum, my dad were divorced. So it's Sue Davy, my mum's name. But when someone's come Sue Fulford, I'm thinking, well, she might not change the driving licence. She might not have done this. So them to say Fulford, instead of me probably ticking and going, your name's Fulford. Everyone knows it's Sue. But the campaign was Sue Davy, but someone's come up with Sue Fulford. But then that's spanned my head. I'm like, that's her. That's my mum.
Of course.
Me and Beeson then, after 12 hours of absolute, on the night, me and him have gone to Walmart. I've got a right spring in my step.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I got her.
Yeah.
I'm the man.
Yeah.
I got her.
It all paid off.
Yeah, and I'm having this euphoric feeling of, if it's a leg, not a problem, mate. Oh, so I'm going to Beeson, crazy stuff. Like, I'm going to him, oh, mate, I'm a wheelchair, no problem, I'll do
How
that.
lucky was she, kind of thing?
Yeah,
And sort of
mate,
all that.
felt without any concrete evidence, and that I won't go too much into how I ended up changing my perspective, but probably an hour after, I have a Skype call with a Tunisian person,
Right.
and they say, we're with your mum's partner. And out of respect for him, I won't go into that, but there was a little bit of a thing and a room number. And I'm thinking, well, if they're with him, my mum, and then it's come back, that woman was a German woman. They'd been shot.
Yeah.
And this has happened in the space of about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I've gone from one feeling to a complete other one, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is gonna, oh no. And then that call comes in, and it was a bit of a seedy call, so I didn't know whether to believe it.
Yeah.
But this guy was saying he was a doctor, and he will get sacked if he tells me it, but he knows how desperate I am.
I think, mate, you're going to listen at that point to anything, regardless of how the people are coming across or the content that they're coming out with. They've got information, and that's where you were.
But it was, because it is a third world country,
Yes.
you also have people that you have, and again, this is the trap that I probably set up myself, Bill, was I'd done this social media, but like anything, you have trolls, you have people giving you fake information,
Yeah.
and in the end, it was just way too much for a 22-year-old lad to process.
Yeah.
And Beeson at the time was probably 19, and we're running off adrenaline at this point. But then at that point, you know, I felt, I never probably admitted it to myself at the time, but I look back on how me and Beeson sort of slowed down.
Yeah. You stopped your momentum.
Yeah, and then with that, Bill, I didn't sleep. Like me and Beeson, Beeson didn't. Like me and him are there going, okay, what's the next plan? And then with that, Beeson's had a phone call with my dad, which I didn't know about. So I've gone, right, I'm gonna get a flight back no matter what. I'm flying back to England. No matter what, I'm coming back because something's wrong. But probably in my head, I still hadn't processed that my mum's died. Like, I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, but when I get back, I'll be able to have people around me and do that. So with that, I've spent all my money on a flight to come back. So I'm waiting around for this flight. I'm flying from Boston. I'm supposed to fly to Washington. So my dad's didn't obviously tell me, but my dad said to Beeson, stay with him for as long as you can. The police are coming round.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then me and Beeson, I feel emotional actually.
Yeah.
Me and Beeson are on the
So how the fuck can you remember this moment? These
yeah,
moments, this
yeah.
period?
I know. I think I got into a blur phase at the funeral but I
Okay.
think I'll talk through that. But with this, it's like it's the worst thing that could ever happen. So I remember every detail, Bill. Like, and it's kind of crazy, but I just get to that point where I remember everything, and I'm like, so with that, Beeson's pulled over on the arch shoulder in America, or wherever we pulled in. I saw him bro. So we need to talk to your dad. I'm like, still, not a clue. Do you know what I mean? And like, it makes me sad because that must have been. There was a dad. You're a dad, Bill.
Yeah.
Imagine how hard that is.
No. It's yeah.
Well, and I'll move to my dad in a bit, but like, he's passed me the phone and he's like, listen, Con, there's 2 police officers here. I thought Zimon's been killed. And like, I feel really emotional now, but that moment, mate, fuck, oh my God, mate, that, you're there and you're like, I felt like I was in a film, mate.
Yeah.
I was waiting for someone. I was waiting to wake up. I was waiting to wake up from a nightmare. That honestly, and then I'm like, whoa. But then I'm on the way to the airport. And I'm about 10 minutes out, so I've got to the airport. Imagine Beeson staying in America because he's staying.
And he's got to leave you to get on a plane.
And I'm sobbing my heart out, Bill. Like, I'm there. I've got no phone. I've only got my laptop. So I'm in Boston Airport and I'm sat there and I've not slept for about 36 hours now and I'm crying my eyes out in the airport. And with that, I'm like, okay. And they went, your luggage is over. I went, sound. I got bigger problems. You know what I mean? You what? I went like,
Yeah.
okay. And I just got my stuff out my case. I just went,
Yeah.
chucked it out. But it kind of woke me up because I thought, I ain't in a dream.
Yeah.
I physically got my stuff out the case here because Beeson was like carrying everything and I'm there just in this trance. And then I'm like, I've chucked him a load of me clobber. I think he's still wearing it now. But so with that, I boarded this flight and I'm flying in to Washington. So I think it was Washington. Again, this is where things start
How
getting
long was that
blurry.
flight going to be?
A couple of hours, but it's a connecting flight to Manchester.
Right.
But before I go, my dad's on the phone. He's gone, listen, when you land in Manchester, there's going to be a flight waiting for you and you're flying straight to you and he's to do an ID check. And I'm like, okay.
Why did you have to do that?
But to be fair, you know what it is, Bill? I look at my sisters and all my life, all I've ever wanted to do is look after my 2 sisters.
So it was you or them,
It's me or them. No, I'm extending them too.
and it couldn't have been another relative. So I'm fucking going now.
Yeah, I don't believe so because of DNA, but I don't know. I was the one that was. Oh, I think at the time I'm front foot anyway on the bill, so I'm like, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll be able to deal with that. I'm strong. I'm Conor.
Yeah.
But the boy that went to go to America was a very different boy coming back,
Of course.
and a broken lad. And I think with all of it, I'm like, whoa. So, and this is where counselling and therapy makes you log in to exactly what happens next. And I'm on this flight. So we're supposed to go to Washington, straight to Manchester, straight to Tunisia.
The worst part about this one, I will add this. I've been there. You're there. Nobody around you knows what's going on with you.
No.
You wanted to. I bet you probably wanted to run up to everyone and tell them
Yeah.
so that they could see why you're like you are.
Oh yeah, but I look like a nutcase.
Exactly.
I look like not a
You
nutcase. I
thought,
look
what
like
the
I look like I'd lost the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
And I probably had. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I probably had. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking to myself, she's just going to pop up soon. And probably making myself believe something that's not true just to try and get me through it. But when I mean,
It's a mistake. Is that what you think?
yeah, this ain't real. So I'm on this flight. Flight starts going woo, woo, like dropping like crazy. Stuff's dropping out. People are being sick. I am sat like I'm sat now, arms folded.
Yeah.
Like if this goes down, it goes down. So with that, they go, sorry, we have to emergency land in Baltimore. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So obviously, I'm trying to catch my connecting flight.
Yeah.
There's a storm, but it wasn't forecast, and this, that, and the other. So I'm like, what? Again, at that time, you just roll with the punches, don't you? And you're just like, yeah. So I get there, and I'm not an expert of the geographical setting of America. They went, there's a taxi ticket, because there's no flights out of here in Washington tonight. But you need to get a taxi to Washington, which is like an hour away, I believe, or something like that. I said, okay, well, what hotel were you? They went, oh, no, you got to sort that yourself. At that point, I spent all my money on a flight.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need Wi-Fi because I need to connect my laptop. But with that, everyone at home's asleep.
Yeah.
So I'm sat outside a Hilton Hotel in Washington. Like, and I'm like, oh God, what's going on? So I've walked into the hotel.
Yeah.
And I just said to the woman, I said, listen, I need a room. And I've got no money. I've got nothing. I've just spent all my money. My flight was a fortune on the way back. Mm-hmm. But then it meant that I think I've had to buy another flight. And then my brother-in-law at the time, he brought it for me or whatever. And it was chaos. It was absolute chaos. So
Did they give you a room?
So I've walked in. Now, mate, it's mad. I've walked in.
Yeah.
The woman's like, look, sir, like, we can't give you a room. Like, you know, blah, blah. So with that, bing, news comes up. Bing, photo mama. Bing confirmed.
And you're where?
I'm in the Hilton in Washington in the hotel lobby. I promise you couldn't write it.
No, you couldn't.
And I've seen this photo of my mum, and I've just burst into tears. The woman's like, and the Americans are amazing. They are. She's like, are you okay? You're okay. And I was like, that's my mum. She was like, looking at the photo. She was like, it is your mum. I was like, I'm just trying to get back. My flight's this, and I gave him my flight cards. I gave him my passport. I'm like, please. I just haven't slept for 2 days. Like, I'm desperate.
You probably haven't got that begging you either, in terms of like, you want to get it across, but you're
Bill, when I said, please give me a room. I'm desperate. I need to sleep. Like, I'm blah, blah. So anyway, there was like a connecting flight or something, but then the woman's gone, you know what? I can give you a room.
Okay.
So I never ever caught the name of the woman because at the time I had more important things going on.
Yeah.
But you know what? That woman, she's gone, I'm going to out this lad. And I said, I promise you, tomorrow morning I'll pay you. Like, I just haven't got any money. She's like, yeah. So she's put me in a room on the end, and I've had a shower. And I remember the last person I spoke to in this room was my mum's best friend, which at the time was Jane Good. So I think I spoke to Jane Good, and Jane Good. And then I'm on my laptop, still trying to fight everything. Thinking I got a flight in like 5 hours, and I've missed that flight because I've just fell asleep.
Yeah.
So that's where I think I needed that connecting flight. I think my brother-in-law at the time, he sorted it or whatever, or the police did. I don't know who it was, but it was quite funny to be fair. I know it's not funny, but the funny bit was when I was in New York, I met a Scouse lad. He's one of my best mates now still.
Yeah.
And he was getting bullied by some Scottish lads, mate, and on the football pitch. So I've helped him out, sorted him out. And so me and him have been mates, like, so.
Yeah.
With that, he's like, to Beeson, because obviously he knows, he's gone, where is he? So he's gone, he's at this hotel, because he's pinged it off his MacBook, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, sound, what hotel? In thing, yeah. He was working, he got moved to Baltimore after the New York thing.
Yeah.
So he's drove to Washington, he's drove to the wrong hotel. He's walked in some random person's room with a Starbucks and a panini. But then he's realised, that like I'm 30 minutes out from there. Yeah, as if, God, Beeson's obviously panicking. He's thinking, oh my God. Yeah. So Beeson's like, no, you need to. Yeah. So he's then tracked me down. He's come 30 minutes. I spoke to Beeson at this point and walked in. I'm starving, Bill. Where's my panini, bro?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, mate, I am that. He was getting cold. But yeah, so he come. I think my flight ended up being delayed again. So
Of course.
of course he did. So luckily there was a few lads from UK Elite that I really got on with. So, but then I think it's the first moment I felt that energy of someone feeling sorry for me. And I've never really had that in my life before. Do you know what I mean, Bill? And it's like,
As in, like, they didn't know what
they didn't know what to say. And I felt, and now I look back, I feel sorry for them, but I weren't speaking, which is unlike me.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm just looking, thinking, get me back home here. But my mate, honestly, even now, like, he's been unbelievable to me. Like, I can't even thank him and Beeson. They've been amazing. So
It's funny how you brought together with these people, and it through
through football,
horrible, well, no, horrible
through and
situation,
football, and then
yeah, mad.
So with that, I've got on this flight, and I think it's the first time I've on this flight back home, and there's a woman next to me, and she must have been 50 or 60, and she was with a couple of girls or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, you had a nice time?" And I'm like, "Nah, not really." And then I was bursting into tears again.
You've not told anyone this story, have you?
No,
So
no,
this
no.
would be the first time you'd
Yeah. Oh,
talk about it.
so without so a
soon,
a stranger.
Yeah, a stranger.
So with that, I'm like, my mum's died in the Tunisia terror attack. But you know, even speaking it out loud, Bill,
Yeah.
I felt physically sick. Like I felt so sick. It was crazy. And all these things that are happening to me in my brain that are going into my body, like into my stomach, and making me feel sick and making me just want to. It was just crazy. So with that, I land in Manchester. But at this point, because the time thing had been too long, I think one of my sisters had done a swab test.
Okay.
So I didn't have to go over to Tunisia.
Okay.
And this is where the counselling will teach at the end, but it's sometimes you have like a higher power, and you haven't got to be God, and it hasn't got to be anything else. But like, I do believe now that like, my mum looks after me sometimes in certain situations. I really, really do. And I think in that situation, she was just protecting a little boy. I really do think that. I think that she knew I'd done everything I possibly can to try and find her. But it's like, you've done enough, so.
You didn't need it. It would have been an added bit of trauma.
I won't disclose what other people said that went there, but it was horrific.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's a third world country, so it's horrific. So with all of that, I've come back, and my dad and my uncle are at the airport, and a few camera crews and this, that, and you know, probably I've come back home, and then there was like my mum's family and my dad's family, and then my mum lost her partner as well, Scott, who was a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
And he died as well. So in there, it was sort of like, again, a bit surreal, but I'm really emotional. Like, I'm quite an emotional person anyway. And I was at that point, but I think going there, like, I'm 22, mate, I'm going there, I'm a cocky young lad, I think I'm the man. Like, so, but when I've come back, not that I've been humbled, but I've had a real traumatic thing happen to me. Yeah. And from that, I've had to grow up really fast, really, really fast. And it's got to the point where I've come back and, you know, I'm planning my mum's funeral. And I won't say that everyone's got an opinion, Billy. You know that.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their opinion. And I'll say this quite openly. The only opinion my mum cared about was me and my two sisters.
Yeah.
And if anybody else thinks differently, that's fine, because that's your opinion.
Yes, of course.
But you don't have to fall out. It's not like that, you know.
It's the last thing people need at that time.
And 1,000%. So again, this is where me trying to take control of situations, not in an aggressive, controlling way, just I'm not going to let my sisters be put in front of a camera, because I'm the speaker around here. Yeah. And I ain't seeing my sisters in front of the world's media crumble. So I'm going to look after them. So with that, I've come back, and my sisters and my dad and me and a couple of my mum's family have helped plan the funeral. And the funeral was at Tamworth. St Editors. And you know, it's quite surprising, really. But they're like, listen, they're sending letters out to people saying, look, we're going to block the whole road off. More or less half a town was shut, weren't it? For it, and there's about 2,000 people there.
Yeah, round. And
there's speakers outside. There's media everywhere.
It was like Spudman was there again.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. The Spud might have more people there, to be fair. Yeah, so
No, but it was amazing, mate.
It was amazing, but with that, no one really wanted to speak for a sustained period of time. I was like, I'll do it. So, I did a 14-minute speech. And I think it's fair to say that I've never read that speech back, even now. And I did it, and I did it for everyone.
Yeah.
I did it for everyone. I thought we was all together. I thought, we're going to do this. And the amount of support and love that Tamworth shown me in that moment was truly incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I've never felt so loved in a weird way. Obviously, I did by my mum and my dad. No. Everyone was messaging me every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Con, you all right? Con, you okay? We're always here. We're always here. And I think one of the biggest problems I've had process-wise, and the therapy side of it, again, everything links to that, because you can actually get answers for what you're doing. And in that moment, Bill, I'm there. I'm like, I've got all these people. They're all gonna be here forever. They're all gonna help me. Amazing. Yes. I'm not on my own.
Yeah.
And as we go further down, I think the world keeps spinning.
Yeah.
And I've found that really hard, because I've lost my mum, and still that little boy inside of me cries because I miss my mum, and I'm quite open with all that.
Can I just say that up to now, I mean, I don't know how far from you find out on the side of the road with Eason to the funeral, couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks tops, yeah.
You don't seem to have shown the anger.
I think at this point, I'm very open on things like that. Like, whereas we'll get to the police sooner, but with all of it, I'm at this funeral, and I remember looking, and I'm thinking, oh my God, that church is big, and it's rammed, and I've had to pull up in a car, carry my mum down.
I've been there, mate.
Yeah. And Bill, you know as well as me, like that feeling, that's where the blur starts coming in.
Yeah.
And I'm started getting like, really, really, I'm strong, like, but I'm running out of adrenaline. So I've done a 14-minute speech.
I remember looking over, and I think you had both your sisters, one on the...
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Which, again, you looked like a man in terms of posture, but in your lad's body still.
Yeah, my mindset was, Bill, like, I'm faking it till I make it there.
Yeah.
I'm faking it till I make it, mate. And in my heart, I'm going to bed every night and I'm sobbing my heart out on my own. And it was so tough. Like, it was so tough, mate. Like, because I know I'm waking up to all that again the next day.
And you don't think that feeling's ever going to end, do you?
No. But then also, I took a lot of comfort, like I said, just about all these people that were there for me. And I was like, oh, amazing. And the biggest struggle I've had is all these people have disappeared in a way.
Your life becomes a newspaper, is my opinion.
Yeah.
When you read it on the day and it's all the big news, and guess what?
It goes to it filters out, Bill. It goes from the front page to the middle page to bye-bye.
History.
And that's what it is. And
do you know what? I find that people avoid you. It's a bit sort of like, they're seeing the street and it's a bit like, yeah, you're right, or are you okay?
And
it's like, you just want normal.
Yeah, and you know what it is, but I can't agree more, because I'm sure you've had it as well. Yeah. But it's the I understand how uncomfortable it is, and even a couple of my friends at the start, I like talking about my mum.
Yeah.
I love my mum. Yeah. So if Amy Winehouse comes on, Bill, right, tears dry on their own, I'm like, Mum, I love this. I said that, right, probably about 6 months after it happened to someone. We'll stay on topic with it. They're like, I didn't see him after that. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, because it made... No. But I had to go through that, because I understood then, like, my partner that I'm with now, like, she's unbelievable. Yeah. Like, she's great. Like, she is probably one of the first people that I've spoke to that actually, and I wasn't with her at the time, but she's like, oh, is your mum like this? And I've never had that before.
Opens it up.
Yeah. I've had, different things go on, but, like, she's like, oh, yeah, my mum likes this as well. And, like, Bill, I feel like a weight's been lifted, mate. I'm like, oh, my God, I can talk about my mum.
Yeah.
But it's probably a lot more feelings in the last few years by doing that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? In a weird way. I can talk about it. So, but back to that the funeral and then that. I didn't realise at the time the chaos that would come after it. And
Okay.
I thought the chaos was what I just...
I thought we'd had enough chaos.
I think probably within myself.
No,
but,
mate,
yeah, but with that, my mum's items have to come back.
Yes, yeah.
So the police have said to me, your mum 100% got shot in the back, lay on a sun lounger. In my head, Bill, I put my head on the pillow at night in a weird, sick way she wouldn't have known.
Yeah, okay, I understand that, yeah.
But that weren't the case. And so one of my sisters, they've sent this is how, I'm going to say it, Ragos. This is how Ragos the police were at the time. And they've sent
Yeah, I've got an opinion on those guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
they've got a hard drive or like a memory stick of images.
Yeah.
And that's not me. That's not like that's where I step out, and that's where my older sister would probably step in. But I can't. My mum, I didn't even go see my mum. Before you can
Chapel arrest.
The chapel arrest. Sorry, yeah. So I didn't do that because my last image was my mum.
It don't work for everyone.
Yeah, I know me, Bill.
Yeah.
I know me quite well at this point. That would probably have sent me nuts.
Well, at the minute, you've got the FA Cup. That's
Exactly.
where you left your
And
mum.
that
image.
And the last time I spoke to my mum was in person was that, and it's love you, proud of you, son, and that's what the memory I wanted. And there's a couple of family members that went that really helped them.
Yeah,
In a way, yeah. I'm buzzing for them, but I know me, and I know that's not. I don't want it to be like that. So, with that, they've said one story. Then the actual story is my sister has seen my mum's bag on an image. My mum's there, the bag's there.
Oh, okay.
So with that, we're like, well, that's not the case. But that's when the anger starts coming, Bill.
Of course it does.
Because I start getting angry there. Because
lied to.
I'm being lied to, mate. Yeah. So I'm probably sourcing my anger through the police now.
Have I not been through enough? You can't even tell me the truth. To try and sort of put it somewhere.
And they've sent this memory, this hard drive, or whatever it is, my sister's plugged it in. It's the explicit version. So it's images you don't want to see of other families, other things, and blah, blah, blah. So with that, like all this explicit stuff of people's bodies and this and that. And it's just like...
Journalist candy, innit? It's fucking horrible,
But if that gets in the wrong hands, Bill.
Yeah.
Right? If that gets in the wrong hands... Luckily, obviously, I think if police end up taking or whatever. We had liaison officers at the time. And police officers, and they were amazing. Yeah. I must say. They were unbelievable.
Yeah.
They were the two of the best people I've met. Couldn't believe they were police, to be honest, Bill. But with that, the actual police that were dealing with it were London.
Okay.
Because, again, they're the ones, they like to be centre of attention in London. So, with that, it's like, wow, what is going on here? We've got all these images. We're actually piecing together what's happened to my mum.
Well, I was going to ask you, I know it's really hard when you're in America at that time. You're on your own, you're in a rush, got no money with you. But it's supposed to get easier when you get other people around you.
And it probably got harder. It's probably got harder as it's gone on.
Mad.
Yeah, which, you know what? Probably a few years back, I was probably really angry still. And I think since I've started opening up a little bit, speaking to someone, I'm going, you know what? They're going through it as well. But and again, everyone's got their own opinion, and in some aspects amazing, but some aspects I don't agree with, and that's okay. That's okay for me not to feel that way. It's okay for me to feel like you've upset me.
The bottom line is, what you've been through, but the way I handled it was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Well, I like to think throughout all of it, my dad reassured me a lot.
Yeah, of course.
My dad was with my mum for 26 years. It had only been split up a couple of years. And, I think...
But that's still a bit raw.
My dad, honestly, mate, is the best person I've ever met on
For a
this.
Villa fan. Yeah. He looks to abuse me on Facebook.
Yeah, Bill, you bring it on, bro.
I've gone hiding a bit on that.
Yeah, I bet you have. Yeah, you lost to Newcastle Resi's, mate, so I would as
yeah.
well. But yeah. But I feel like when I came back, my dad's there, and what a bloke. Because I feel like probably a bit like yourself, Bill.
Yeah.
In situations like this, is what I've learned.
Yeah.
People are always looking for someone to blame, mate. And when the person's dead, that is to blame, he's probably next on the chopping block. And I felt an energy towards my dad. Well, obviously I won't delve into that too much, but he's dad, nan, granddad, mom. He's everything, mate.
Best mate.
My best mate. Yeah. Like he has been. Without my dad, I wouldn't have got through this. Facts. Because that's like my relationship with my dad is very, very strong, and it's strong because he's always there. He shows up, mate.
Yeah.
He shows up. He don't let me down. He shows up. He's consistent with everything.
No matter how hot it is, he's there.
Mate, if the kitchen's hot, he's like, turn it up, kids. Let's get hotter. Like, honestly, and you know my dad anyway. He's a good bloke. Like, and he would do anything for his kids and for his family. And I just feel that there was a narrative at one point, and I even said it at the funeral, so I could probably say it here. I said, no one knew my mum better than my dad. Yeah. No one. He was with her for 26 years.
Yeah.
Consistent.
Yeah.
I don't know how she stayed with him for 26 years, to be honest, but, and with that, it's like, they've been through a long journey together, and in the end, they just fell out of love with each other, and that's okay.
Grew apart a bit, yeah.
Grew apart a bit, different things.
Like, it's more common than not now, isn't it? Let's face
it. Yeah, it is. I think statistically, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but, I always think I was one of the only kids at school when mum and dad were actually still together.
Yeah.
I think I was. And, my dad never had a moment to grieve because he's trying to protect his kids. And I think maybe that's where I get it from with my sisters. I try and make sure they're okay and make sure but in effect, you can end up neglecting yourself. And I think you'll probably know yourself.
Yeah.
But, him in that, the pressure that I was under in front of a camera to go and deliver all the time, to go on. And I put myself in that situation, and I probably, looking back, should have said no to a few things. But then I'm a young kid, I don't know, and I want to talk about my mum because I'm heartbroken. I'm just like, oh my God, no. And it gets to the point where people do offer you money to go on things, and they do offer you things. I think that's the side that people don't see, is the press trying to categorise you, trying to make you a racist in effect sometimes. They'll go, do you hate every Muslim? And I don't have any of that hate towards any. That's outrageous. But
dangerous in your current mental state. You're still not.
They try and trap you, mate, and that's the thing. It's like there's so many traps set up, and you know what? For a 22-year-old kid, I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like now I am.
Yeah.
Now I am. I had sleepless nights over people saying, this, you should be buried there or this or that, and I'm like, am I doing it wrong? The little boy inside me is like, oh, my mum will know the answer, and it hurts, Bill. It really hurts. And then you look at the trolls and you look at the people that put things on the internet, and it all links in, and your head's spinning. So then, with that, back to the police. The police sent a bag back, and it had blood all over it.
Okay, right.
Even though it's meant to be over there.
So, and then we're going, okay, and that was part of the thing, it's something they're messing with our heads, and, then with all of that, it's like, we have to go to court, because you have to go to court to say, like, a certificate of death, but in this court thing, to basically say that the guy's guilty, in a mad way, but we're watching footage of what's happened that day. But luckily, my mum was on the beach, on the day that she was killed, and I say luckily, which is crazy to say, but I don't think I'd be able to cope with being here now, knowing that my mum, there's footage of my mum in the hotel or somewhere else being killed. She's with a partner, and her partner died as well, but she's on the beach. And in effect, I think we've puzzled together that, she is running off, and that was probably a year or so later, that was where I found that. And
it's dangerous when you try and predict the stuff you don't know, because you.
But when they tell me, Bill, 100%, she was lying on the sun lounge, my anger's going. My anger's going. I'm thinking, who said that then?
Yeah, that's
And basically, in this court thing,
it. Yeah.
you know me, Bill, I ain't shy to speak what I think.
No.
You get to a moment to speak about your mum. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll do it. And all the police are there and they all think they're great. And I'm like, we'll have a fun time here.
You don't know it.
I'm going to have a good time here.
Yeah.
So I writ a WordPress because I like writing and stuff like that. I have a lot of things to sort of think about. So
Yeah.
And it helped me at the time. That was a lot of therapy, you know.
Yeah, of course. I can imagine.
And all I did was display this on a WordPress. Within 3 hours, I had a phone call.
Yeah.
Within 12, I had a knock at the door. You need to take that down. It's going to affect your mum's trial. And at the time, me, naive young kid, like, oh, nah. But I'm just literally exposing people, saying, Mark Gower, or whatever his name was, you said this
Yeah.
and this. Your words, not mine. Your
Swear the
words,
world's
not
gone crazy,
mine.
what you can and can't say. And
Can't say a word now. I'm affecting this, I'm affecting that. And that's a part of why, you know, I don't want to go in front of a camera and get paid to do it. Because all of this stuff is people's. I get it's a tough situation.
yeah.
But don't lie to me. If they've said to me, Conor, listen, we don't know, but we're going to do our best to find out.
That's
Cool.
what you want.
That's fine, mate. That makes me feel better because they don't know, so I don't know. But when you give me that hope and you tell me that broke my heart then, because I know my mum's in fear running off. And that breaks my heart. And I don't think anyone even knows that, but they will now after this. But,
Yeah.
you know, and there was a few different things where the police messed up. I didn't like their arrogance towards a few of the conversations I had with them. And I think it's because they knew I had their card. They knew I knew they'd done something wrong.
Have you ever had an apology?
Oh, no. Don't be silly, Bill. Why would you get an apology?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know, and I think that's, you know, not going too political, but I think that's the way the world is now. Like, you know, if you did something wrong to me, I expect you to say sorry.
Of course.
We shake hands and we move on.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I wouldn't even mention that. I want to mention it, but I didn't get no sorry.
No.
And you know what it is? I think, you know, the two liaison people we had were unbelievable, and they were sorry. They were sorry.
Yeah.
But it weren't them. It weren't them, Bill. It weren't them.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's where it broke me a little bit. So yeah, throughout all of it, I've got nothing but love for them too. They're amazing people. And as it goes on, you know, you go through all of it and it's like, I'm 22 and I've got nowhere to live, really. I'm living with my sister and her partner at the time. And I play football for the Galacticos and I break my leg.
Sorry, but yeah.
I know, it's just outrageous.
Yeah.
I just literally, you won't even tackle my head, just turn, break my leg.
I feel like we're on the Truman Show.
Mate,
What's going on here? Like,
I'm waiting for Anton Deck to join up and jump out, mate.
That's it, yeah.
And honestly, so I broke my leg. I'm sat there. But ironically, my brother-in-law at the time was playing football and as probably going to my work later. But,
Yeah.
you know, he went and won the Premier League that year.
Oh, yeah.
So then I'm going, you know, that higher power stuff that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I've missed going to Tunisia. Randomly, a storm's come along. Then he goes and wins the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think,
Yeah.
lottery's next. Come on, Mom. Here we go. Let's go, baby. But, you know, and that kept me going. And he's always been an amazing person to me and in my life. So I've got nothing but love for him. And so much so, we end up setting a business up and a coaching company. And, you know, because it's nearly 10 years since my mum, we've actually been going for 9 years now, myself and Mark. And
Just grew every year, haven't you?
yeah, we got bigger and bigger and more successful. A bit like himself, to be fair, you know, when he was at Villa and then he was more successful, you grow into it. And it's someone that I trust and someone that I really respect
Yes.
in life and someone that holds my values. And me and him have never, don't get me wrong, we've had the odd argument, but it's nothing but love. Like, it's not a...
Likes to, mate.
Yeah. But, you know, it's very rare, you know, and throughout all of it, I love football, just like yourself, Bill, and seeing Leicester win that league was you was just unbelievable, weren't it?
Talk something about it the other day with the Vardy record and all the things that happened. It was like a story itself. Weird.
And you know, I think all of it, you know, I think you look at our business logo, and I'm living with him at the time.
Right.
And with all that, I think he's missed pre-season. And me and him ended up, before I broke my leg, Sutton Park, and because he's like, you know,
I remember watching videos of you putting him through
yeah,
paces.
yeah. Me and him were going at it, and you know, we're up early, and he's putting it in, and da-da. And then the first game of the season, they play Sunderland. After about 2 minutes, he's whipped one in. They've scored. I think Vardy or Mahrez has scored or whatever. And then he scored in the second half, and then he ran. He's pointed to the sky, like from my mum.
Yeah.
And then that's our work logo. So anyone that ever questions our work logo, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's for my mum. So then every day, you know, when I see a kid at Mark Albrighton Centre of Development, and I see them with that logo, I see my mum. You see my mum. And I love that, Bill.
Yeah,
I
of
love
course.
the fact that I'm looking at this kid,
That's amazing.
and Mark has done that for me. And he's done it because he had a great relationship with my mum as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, throughout all of it, there was people like my sisters and Mark and my dad, and certain individuals that were just unbelievable, and they still are now.
Yeah.
You know, they still are
And
now.
you don't ever ask for that, do you? You don't ever ask for those people to be that way. It just happens.
Yeah, like you look at Beeson, or you look at Alex, the lad that was in Thingy, and you know, all of these people like Dale and you know, May and whatever. You know, I've got a lot of good friends, but I think what happened to me, in a way, was we set his business up and he's boomed.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, Mark's won the league as well. So it's like, wow, this is unbelievable.
Good things are happening.
Good things are happening. I'm always busy.
Yes.
I'm busy. I'm like, yeah, this is great. Da, da, da. We've set this up. We robbed a few ideas from the America thing, like Mommy, Daddy and Me. Brought it over here and it's boomed. And like, you're like, wow. So with all that, yeah, I move out of their place probably a few months before then. They ended up winning the league. Leicester win the league. And I got my own house. And I'm like, what? I get this big bill for about $1,500.
Yeah, what's this? Yeah.
It's council tax.
Yeah.
So what's that?
Yeah.
Council tax for Tamworth Council with all them potholes. Yeah, good one. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, nice one. But
Going into Coat Lane now.
yeah, I live up there as well. Yeah. Hey, I'm happy for it as well. But I'll pay it now. But no, and it's like $600 water bill. You have to pay for water.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind. My mum worked for Severn Trent Water. I should know that, shouldn't I? Yeah. So with that, I'm like, oh my God. And you know, going through that without your mum, and you've got two sisters in distress as well,
You just thrust into it.
and you're chucked in, and I'm like, wow. And it's so much. Like, you know, you look at how my life then has sort of gone, you know, and I think the aftermath of it all, and dealing with, you know, my little sister's just had a baby, Betsy, and she's amazing. And you know, the fact that my little sister now can't have a nan on her side, and you know, me and my partner, like, you know, if that was ever the case, and like me and Emma spoke loads about it, and we're like, it hurts my soul.
Of course
It hurts me so much, Bill, you know, but I also look, and I think now, like, you know, when you go through everything that's happened, it's like you got to make yourself grow in that situation and not sink. I think that's the most powerful thing that I'll probably say is you got to stand up to it. And I did at the start, and I had a moment where I moved to this house, and it's a lot, you know, I'm on my own, sat down on my own if you
Sorry,
don't.
Matt, can I just say that as well? It's ironic that you're with this girl now who is so comfortable about speaking with you about your mum.
Yeah.
So your kids are going to get to know your mum.
Oh, and this is what I mean. Is it?
And that's lovely.
And you know, my mum was so strong, and so's my girlfriend now.
Yeah.
Like the resemblance of it, as in personality, both nuts, but but in a good way, Yeah, before sorry, but you know, in an amazing way, and they both have really big hearts, and I see a lot. Not in a freaking way, but I see a lot of similarities, as in personality-wise, stand on, tell me when I'm in the wrong, without backing down, and
Right, man.
rein me in a little bit, but also, you know, about acceptance, and if they've done something wrong, they say sorry, and vice versa. That's it. Like, you know, there's no real big secret that I'm very open with everything on myself. And if I do something wrong, I'm the first person to say sorry. And if I haven't, I won't.
That's it.
That's it. Like, and if you could convince me otherwise, I'll admit it. But throughout all of this, it's got to that aftermath where I'm in this house. I'm going to bed on my own every night, and then it starts ticking a bit. You know, my head starts ticking, and not that I was ever in a suicidal place or I was ever in a moment of like that, but it's just pain.
Yeah.
I felt like there was a part inside of me that had been ripped out, and I didn't know how to fill it.
Yeah.
And I just battered the gym.
Yeah.
I played football all the time. I did everything to keep myself busy.
Yeah.
And
Well, you do get tired then, and your mental state can be affected in that respect.
massively. And I think in the last, say, for example, probably the tipping block was I knew probably about a year and a half ago from now. But, you know, I've got through them years and I've spoke to someone and, you know, it's been all right. But also now, I know concretely Amazon are bringing out that 10-year thing. So there's going to be a 10-year, either a documentary or a film.
Okay.
And I don't, like I always say, Bill, I do things to spread a message.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me what message that spreads. Hate, racism, unnecessary people tweeting me, unnecessary abuse. My sister's possibly getting it as well.
Anxiety.
Stress. And I have to relive all that.
Yeah.
And not one of the families, as in direct people, I don't think to this day, have said yes. Everyone, no one wants it.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Nobody wants it. And I think, for me, that's my mum, Bill.
Yeah.
That's my mum. What are you on about? Like, and in and all,
I feel like you've been through the worst time, and you may be getting dragged back there, which can be
I
almost...
know the headspace I was in there, Bill. And I'm upset. I'm heartbroken. And there's images
Yeah.
that I really don't want to come out.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You know, I don't want to see a towel over my mum on a documentary. I don't want that. I don't want people that weren't there looking for a minute of fame to jump on a camera. I don't want that. I don't want any of it. I would wish that they would just go, listen, we're thinking about doing this. Let's do it. But instead, there was a woman called Claire Sturgis. And I never usually name people, but I will name her.
Yeah.
Because she's a director of whatever, films and whatever. And she messages my work page about my mum. And there's a couple of members of staff, Bill, that can get on that web page.
Yeah.
Couple of younger people that probably might not know my situation, Bill.
Yeah.
You know, our age, you know my
Well,
situation.
they meet you, and you don't seem like a person who's been through it.
No.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, and, you know, imagine being that desperate to get me onto your show, which you can earn money off and probably get your little award, and you can go there and go, well done, I'm amazing.
Make it harder hitting.
You've messaged my work page,
Yeah.
and you don't know who's got access to that. Look, you've messaged me privately, and you've been aired. Respect that.
Yeah.
Respect that. You don't need to harass me. Like, it's complete. It's one of the moments where that really upset me. It really hurt me
Well,
because
you're more coherent right now than when you're back then.
yeah.
That's why you feel different.
I can articulate myself in the way that I want
Exactly.
to. And I think with that, you know, it really affected me. Like, because I'm like, like I've explained throughout all of this,
Yeah.
that's traumatic.
Yeah.
It's traumatic, Bill. I don't want to relive that. I don't mind talking about it with you guys because the message that I'm spreading is in these moments where I've really suffered and I've been in a lot of pain, I've spoke to someone.
Spoke to them.
And that's the message that I need to send to everyone. He's like, so, you know, recently, you know, I've been learning a lot about higher power or learning about myself a lot and how I react to situations and how I deal with things. And
One thing you've done well, by the sounds of it, again, I'm only hearing this for the first time, which is why I'm a bit not. You've accepted help well.
yeah.
You know, from
I think
you
I
haven't.
didn't at the start.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think they're only a bit like, because the stigma on men speaking is like, and I think my powerful side of me is going, all you need is your head, Con. You're a clever kid. You know what you're doing. And I don't, you know, I think I think I can come across quite arrogant in those moments because I'm like, no, I don't need it. But, you know, speaking to someone, imagine my poor dad having to listen to me all the time, you know, in moments, you know, venting and ranting and crying and being upset and saying,
Being a soundboard, you know, and that's
yeah,
what they do.
yeah.
These
But anything he hits back with, I'm rebounding it back at him.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and I feel bad for that. I really do. But you know, it's the same as my my girlfriend that I'm with now, or whether it's like my friends and stuff like that. You know, sometimes you have that external voice
Yeah.
that don't know you. You open up a lot more, and I never believed in it before, but I think the people that I've mentioned, the close people to me, have helped me, guide me to it as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, you know, because I feel better after I spoke. And like I said to you, like me talking about all this, it is traumatic, but it happened.
Mate, believe it or not, I've been on holiday.
Yeah.
I've met someone 5 minutes and I'm into my situation.
Yeah, I'll get
Because
that.
I
get that.
I get something from it.
I know. I'm a nightmare for it. Not all the time. I'm sort of.
Do watch their face when you're dragging them, but
Oh, Bill.
some of them are good with it, and they can.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean, and I think sometimes it can come across like I'm looking for sympathy. I'm not. I'm just looking to talk.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I think that's the message. Is like, it's uncomfortable. Like, you know, you've been through it like yourself,
Yeah,
Bill,
yeah,
so you get it. You understand the pain of certain situations, but I don't understand your pain. You don't understand mine, and that's okay. But I think at the time when people coming up to me going, "My 95-year-old nan has died," I know how you feel. Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what?
Yeah.
They were just doing it to comfort me.
Cool.
And I love that for that. I love that they did that. I really do.
They're still upset, but it's different.
It is different, and I think with it all, you know,
Yeah.
with it all, that Amazon thing coming out, being messaged, is really upset me. But I don't really want to give that much airtime, to be honest, Bill, because you know, like anything, I think you get to that point where I'm over it. If they want to go and earn money off my mum's death, so be it.
Decent, mate. Decent. If you like what you call salt the earth people, we'll see it that way as well.
Yeah,
For me, man.
yeah.
But listen, to say I've not been that speechless in a long time, mate, is an understatement. I think it's an amazing story. It's mind blowing that you're here in the form you're in, and thanks for coming on.
Pleasure, Bill. Thanks, mate. Top man. Thank you.